stuff, and I'm still getting used to the position of everything around me. So I had to work very hard not to punch my mic then.
Yeah, I just get pissed off with mine sometimes too.
I downloaded like SoundForge and stuff because I wanted to start using my mic to record, but since everything is covered in dust and wood dust, I was like, I'm not gonna bother pulling everything out until I've cleaned.
So you've de-dusted the place following your saga, your recent saga, Darren?
No, it still needs a good clean because he only finished like yesterday evening at about 8 o'clock or something like that, and I was like, I'm just going to sit down and drink coffee now. I'm not doing anything.
That's the spirit.
Sure. Build a bloke here doing your kitchen for our listeners who probably wonder what you're talking about.
Yes. So I feel it important to mention at that point. It feels really good to be back in the recording chair with you guys because, like, it feels like for various reasons this particular session has just been cursed. Do you agree?
It's been a month.
It has been a month since we last recorded. You know,
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
people have been ill. People have been away. Darren's house has been quote unquote renovated badly.
Dismantled.
Dismantled.
I had my kitchen floor needed replacing because there was some sort of leak from somewhere, and like underneath it all had started to rot. So the builder came out just before I went away for a few days, and when I came back, he'd not done a lot, and every day for the last 7 days I've just had an angry Frenchman in my kitchen. Merde putain, that's all I've heard. Every few seconds.
Well, as someone whose partner is French, I can tell you, they're all angry.
Are we sure that Catherine doesn't listen to the show, Stu?
I'm positive she doesn't listen to the show. I love her to bits. But, yeah, nobody swears like the French.
And also, I should mention as well that these episodes, there might be a washing machine running in the background, so if you're listening and you hear a strange noise, that's me washing my clothes because I've had no washing machine or dishwasher for a week, or cooker or anything, so I need to wash my pants.
No, but I'll do what I can in the edits, but yeah, no, that's a good call if the listeners do hear anything.
But I remember once, I mean, you might be able to relate to this now, Darren, that I was working in an office where they got in this company to do the renovations, and the company was owned by Plymouth Brethren, who are a sort of Christian sect. And one of their subcontractors, he hammered his thumb or something like that, the usual thing, and swore, said, oh shit, or whatever. And they sacked him on the spot.
Really?
Yeah, they won't have swearing.
They'd probably not get away with that these days.
Yeah, I mean, if they really wanted to, they'd find some other reason to get rid of him. If that case.
Yeah.
But I mean,
sure.
they could make it into some kind of company policy, because obviously he's representing them and all that sort of stuff. They've got to be seen to be being professional.
And if you're a subcontractor as opposed to an employee, then yeah, your position is weaker in that regard.
True. What about you, Amy? Do you do a lot of swearing?
Well, sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Depends what kind of mood I'm in.
I swear like a fucking trooper.
Right, lads, this is going to be a very clean podcast, so I want no fucking swearing, all right?
Yeah. Listen up, you
Right, so I have a policy when I'm editing, right? Swearing, F's and S's and B's, I let go. The C, I get the bleep button out for.
I think sometimes swearing is funnier when it's bleeped.
I agree.
Yes. It's like
South Park, when they bleep it, I find it funnier when it's bleeped than when it's...
Yeah, but it does create me extra work, just saying.
Well, I've actually, on this vein, this has come about very naturally, but as part of my lovely new audio setup, my interface has a fun function. I can actually bleep myself whenever I so wish. So, for example, I could just be sat here playing the game, and you guys do something that annoys me, and I just call you all eating, and you wouldn't even know what I said.
It'd be curious to know if that comes through on the record.
I think it should do. We'll see what happens.
Cool. Look forward to editing that.
Anyway, speaking of editing, we are meant to be doing a podcast, folks. Shall we get back into it?
Let's get back into it.
Yeah, welcome back,
That's on a
listeners.
hell of a hangover.
Hangover.
That's a hangover. Cliffhanger. That's the word.
That's the word you wanted. A cliff hangover when you're drunk in suspense.
Yeah.
Right, with that said, welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 Side, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I'm your Games Master for this and for most of our other games. And I'm joined by our regular cast members of Mr. Stu Jackson.
Hello.
Mr. Neil Kelly.
Fuck you.
Thank you very much, Neil. Mr. Darren Mafucci. Mr. Darren Mafucci.
Ned.
And Miss Amy Chislett. So we've all regressed into teenagers in the space of the last 5
Actually,
minutes.
I'm just going to say one last thing. That bleeper you've got, where you can bleep out your own words. Wouldn't it be cool if it could actually convert the swear word into Morse code? And
That'd be quite
transmit it? That would be really cool. But I'm ready to play now. Sorry.
Right. So
hello,
now, when
Dom.
I'm editing, I've got to look up how to say fuck in Morse code so I can do the bleep that way. Is that what you're saying?
That'd be perfect. Don't forget the C word.
I have to bleep the Morse code.
Yeah, at least you only have to look up you once. So.
Me?
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Yes, anyway, before that drops off like a lead balloon, as it clearly has. Yeah, so how's everybody feeling? As Stu did mention, we left last time on a bit of a cliffhanger. How's everyone feeling?
I don't remember what happened.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, and it's been a very stressful, exhausting week, and I don't know how I feel about anything anymore, let alone this game.
That's pretty characteristic for Brother Amos, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't remember what happened, Dom. So you'll have to refresh my memory.
Well, as you've asked me so nicely, Darren, shall we skip any more of the banter and go straight into a recap, folks?
Let's do that.
That's great.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. So, our adventurers, Olwyn Templeton, Otto von Niederschläger, Brother Amos, and Della Thornbury, having left the ruined town of Ulsgaard behind, have continued on their journey towards the city of Whitethrone. Some of you, Otto, Amos, and Olwyn, with a grander quest in mind, and Della, purely because you're at a bit of a loose end and you've got nothing better to do. I think is what was said last time. You've been making your way towards the city of Whitethrone. After stopping briefly to have an unprompted heart-to-heart about each other, where you all learn some things. Some of you learning some information about your guide, Nadya Petska, that you're not too sure what to do with. You continued on your journey, where you progressed for a couple of days northward, uninterrupted, until you came upon a strange rock formation that stood in the middle of the snowfield. On investigation, this a very out-of-place rock formation emanated a strong aura of magic that was almost blinding to Otto as he cast Detect Magic on it. You determined that this strange formation, whatever it may be, whatever it may represent, is a site of cultural significance to a number of tribes of goblin that live in the area. But ultimately, you decided not to investigate further and continued on your journey northwards. That night, as you rested in a lee by the side of the road, Brother Amos, whilst you were taking your watch, you became aware of a light approaching from further up the path in the direction you were travelling. And as this light came further into view, you saw walking along this path as though the cold wasn't even touching her. A woman with long raven black hair that cascades past her shoulders, dressed in robes of white and crisscrossed with black symbols. And as she approached closer, Brother Amos, you saw that slung over her shoulders, she had two things. Slung over her right shoulder, there was what looked to be a heavy burlap sack with an ominous red stain on the bottom of it. And over her left shoulder, there was a long spear tipped with jagged ice. And that is where we bring ourselves back in, folks. So, Brother Amos, you are currently on watch. You've seen this woman approaching down the path. What would you like to do?
I don't remember any of this.
Well, last time we put you on watch.
I would like to give everyone like a gentle nudge and wake up.
Yep, the rest of you are nudged awake by Brother Amos.
But what's wrong?
Over there.
Was ist los?
Sorry.
Over there.
Ooh. Yeah. Owen will get his rapier and shield out, and ready Chardonnay. Make sure Chardonnay's awake.
Yeah, absolutely, you can do that. So a few moments pass as this woman comes closer, and you can see now that the light is coming from a lantern which is held in front of her. It seems to be floating in the air as she walks along this path. As she gets closer, you can see that her face is obscured by what looks to be a glittering veil of frost or ice. You can only just about make out her eyes peeking out above it.
How far away is she at this point?
At this point, she's maybe about 30 feet away from your little campsite.
Okay, I think we should call out to her. Hello! Nice to meet you!
As she draws a little bit closer, you get no response from her. From her. Although, as you call out, Olwyn, she does turn briefly to look at you, and then turns her attention back to the road and continues walking along it.
Oh, perhaps we should just let her go on her way. Not everyone is either hostile or friendly. It's not a binary thing. She's just going about her business. We should respect
Clearly
that.
not noticed the sack dripping blood.
Maybe
It's not-
she has.
it's not-
She's bought some meat.
To clarify,
Right.
it's not dripping blood, but there is like the bottom of the sack is soiled red. But it's not dripping blood.
Let us not jump to conclusions. She seems to mean us no harm.
Yes.
We could follow her.
That would be a bit creepy, don't you think?
It would be actually now that you say that.
But I know your predilections.
Okay. She draws at this point almost level with your campsite, and just before she kind of moves past you, you can see, you catch a brief glimpse of her eyes, and her eyes are a vibrant emerald green that seem to glimmer in the darkness. But she currently seems to pay you no mind.
Are you alright? Do you need any help with anything?
You get no response from her. She turns her attention back to the path and continues walking.
Rude.
Well, no.
Are
We have to
chilly
respect her,
response.
right? But you know, she's out here in the woods on her own. She didn't come here because she wants to talk to people. I respect that.
Remember, the people were here to stop. She sort of fits that description.
She does.
I think we should follow her. Sneaky, sneaky.
Otto, those symbols on her dress, do you recognise any of them?
Do I recognise any of them?
You can give me an occultism roll, Otto.
I'm not very hot on occultism.
I am.
Are you? Perhaps you would know better.
Yeah, if you'd like to roll as well, Brother Amos.
I'm not that good. Where are we? I am 14.
Let me see if I can. I managed 18.
18. Neither of you recognise these symbols. Although Otto, you look at them. The most you can tell is that they're not associated with any of the common deities. But beyond that, you don't know.
Oh well, back to bed then, Otto.
Not even a kiss first.
I'm curious. What's Chardonnay's response to it? Is he hackles up, or just no reaction really, or
Not particularly. I mean, Chardonnay. How I don't really know how. What are you asking, Stu? Because I don't really know what Chardonnay's responses are to individuals.
Well, I mean, Chardonnay is I mean, I suppose to all intents and purposes a very well trained wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at Chardonnay to see if there's any instinctive reaction.
You look at Chardonnay, Olwyn, and I mean, there's nothing. You know, Chardonnay hasn't got his fangs bared. His hackles aren't up. He's not in a combat stance, but he does appear to be wary. Whether it's just because he's faced with something unknown, he's never seen before, you don't know. But yeah, Chardonnay's reaction is one of wariness and caution.
Okay. Could easily be picking up on Alwyn's wariness as well, of course.
Could well be.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, no, I was just thinking because some animals, they react to predators, and you know, that's what I'm.
No worries.
thinking. Okay, yeah.
So as you have these thoughts, she continues walking on the path, and gets to a point where she's now starting to move away from you. She's now about 30 feet away from the camp in the other direction. What would you like to do?
Wake up Nadya.
Oh, and what?
There's someone just gone past. We don't know what to do about her, dressed in this white robe with black symbols and sort of had a very icy, frosty sort of demeanour. Wonder if you could take a quick look before she goes out of view.
I'll try. It's quite dark. I can't really see that well.
Let's run up and so you can get a bit closer then. She's got her own light source, so that should help.
All right. She gets to her feet, Olwyn. And are you leading her towards this woman?
Yeah. Don't know if anyone else is coming, but yeah.
All right. Have you still got your weapons drawn, Olwyn?
Yes.
Okay. So, Olwyn, as you and Nadya approach this woman from behind, you get to within 30 feet of her as Nadya joins you, and you see the woman in front of you stops, and she turns to face you. And in a cold voice, she calls back to the two of you. Are you bandits? Do you seek to rob me?
No. Just curious.
Curiosity killed the cat, my friends.
We're not cats. So, it's fine.
She turns back to the direction she was facing, and she continues walking away from you.
Okay, start heading back with Nadya back to the camp. Because hopefully that's given Nadya enough to go on if Nadya would recognise her.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Nadya, having seen this woman closer, she thinks a little bit, and after a couple of minutes, she sort of shakes her head and says, "Oh, when I'm sorry. I don't know. I've never seen anything like her before. Never heard no tales of women like her wandering in the wilds.
Okay,
Perhaps best to just leave it alone, eh?"
No, I think that's good advice. I just wanted to. So it's not Baba Yaga or Jaina then. Is it Jaina?
Najena? No. That's
Najena, yes.
No, Najena. She looks, well, almost polar opposite of that woman. Platinum blonde hair, steely blue eyes. Always dressed very elegantly. But no, that's not Najena. Not at all. And as for Baba Yaga, I don't think we'd see the Queen of Witches just walking around the wilds like that.
Fair comment. Good to rule these things out. Yeah, that's the third thing in the last day. Bit of information, don't know what to do with. Probably going to bite us in the arse later down the road. Okay.
We don't have to go looking for trouble. It usually finds us.
No. All these things coming up, don't know what to do. Thank you, Nadya. You probably go back to sleep now.
You're welcome. All right. And yeah, she returns to her sleep, as do the rest of you, I assume.
Yeah, until I think Brother Amos was on last watch, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. So we could be. The dawn is just starting to glimmer on the horizon as you return to your rest, and about an hour or so later, you all come to consciousness, and you make your daily preparations. You've had your full rest. You get back your spells and anything else you may have used, and it's now a fresh day. So I'm assuming you want to continue on the road.
You assume right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So as you pack up your little camp and you get your sleds moving once again, you descend down from your campsite down a small gentle slope that ends with a bridge that spans across a fairly fast flowing river. It's not super wide. This looks to be perhaps a tributary stream of something much larger further away, but the water here is moving. It's not frozen over. And yeah, as you continue across it, your journey towards Whitethrone continues apace. And your day of travel passes without incident. On this day of travel, it's very lonely. It's just yourselves and the dogs on the path today. You come across no other travellers moving in either direction. And this is probably one of the least interesting days you've had of travel in general, because as you leave this slightly wooded area where you encountered the woman walking, you find yourselves out on a big icy plain that gathers that takes up much of your day's travel, and it's not until the very end of the day when you begin to sort of find yourselves back amongst the shade of a few evergreen trees, and you set your camp for the 4th night towards Elsprin. And as you do so, Nadya sort of takes a look in the sled to set the camp, and she says, looks like we're getting low on firewood. Or Mioli, do you want to go and be useful to Mummy? And the boys sort of snap to attention almost, and sort of say, yes. Right, remember what Dad and I told you about finding wood? Do you want to go into that little copse over there, see what you can get for us? And they excitedly agree, and sort of begin to scurry off towards this copse of woodland.
Before they go, I'll say, could you do me a favour and maybe give Chardonnay a bit of a walk with you?
They look very excited at this. What command do you give Chardonnay? What do you tell him?
To protect them.
All right.
To guard them.
Yeah, easy to do. Chardonnay lopes off with the boys. They seem very excited to have him along with them.
Well, I know they like Chardonnay, so yeah. Well, we all like Chardonnay.
Yeah. So just in this moment, whilst you're waiting for the boys to return with some firewood, you sort of have a bit of time to set your camp, start eating a little bit of food, that sort of thing. Is there anything you'd like to do or discuss in that time?
I think that's a no.
I can't think of anything.
We're just going to press on, and I've enjoyed a nice, peaceful day. A day of not fighting, not getting hurt.
All right.
I mean, Alwyn's uncharacteristically less jolly than usual. I mean, he's troubled. He's troubled by recent events and pieces of information, and he wants to talk to Nadya about how do you broach a subject like that. Actually, probably best not when the boys are not there. Is perhaps the best time. Owen is going to gather Brother Amos and Otto and say, do you think we should talk to Nadya about the scary doll and the ghost girl?
I suppose. I mean, if she finds out later that we knew about this and kept it from her, I think that would be worse.
Yes, but now the boys are not here. Now's probably the time.
If not we all now, then when? Yes, I see.
Yes. Nadya, can we have a quick word, please?
You see that she's in the middle of skinning a deer that she'd shot earlier in the day. She sort of finishes up what she was doing, sort of cleans off her gloves, and sort of says, "Oi, Alwyn, course, what can I do for you?"
Well, if you take a seat, maybe put the flensing knife down just a little further away. Thank you. Yes, oh gosh, you told us about your daughter.
Thora, yes.
Thora, yes, the terrible story, and you gave this wonderful description of how she was dressed and what she looked like. Well, it's maybe nothing more than a curious coincidence, but before we came through the portal back where we're from, we had a strange encounter, and Alwyn will describe the encounter with the dog. I mean, do you want us to describe it, or do you want us to?
Yeah, it's been a while in podcast terms. So why don't you describe it as you remember it, Stu?
Okay. We were sort of investigating all the snow and what have you, and we went into these woods. There was this really scary hut where there was this strange animated doll that was dressed very, very much like you described Thora being dressed, and indeed had this sort of flaxen blonde hair. There was also, rather strangely, very close by in the woods, these huge ice boulders, and this ghost girl that seemed to be sort of pleading for something, but every time we went close, all these ghosts came out and attacked us. It was all rather scary. I mean, Otto and Brother Amos, am I missing anything there?
No, I think you're giving a good account of yourself.
Right. But yes, it's just the description of the doll was so close to how you described Thora. I thought, well, it's been playing on my mind, and I felt we needed to mention it.
You see, as you tell this story, Owen, Nadya visibly sinks as you tell her this, and as you continue, she draws right into herself. There's a long silence after you finish. After you finish telling her what happened. And then she looks up at you, Olwyn, with a tear, single tear running down her face. And she says to you, "Do you know what, Olwyn? I think I knew. Mothers know these things, you know. Just like I couldn't put a finger on what I was feeling, but hearing you talk about it like that, it's making a lot of sense." Fucking Najena. The tower. How could I have been so stupid when we were in that vault? And there was those porcelain dolls on the shelf. And there was one missing. Do you remember?
I do.
Fucking bitch turned my daughter into a doll.
The doll we encountered dropped something, which I think it's only right that you should have it. I was choosing his words very carefully there. And he'll take out the sapphire and hand it to her.
As you hand her the sapphire, Olwyn, there is an audible sob. Oh, Thora, my Thora. It's... Owen, thank you for giving me this.
There's nothing to thank. I'm just sorry. We should be the bearers of such news.
You say you broke the doll, right? You destroyed it?
I believe the doll was broken. Yes.
All right. Well,
I mean, I would sort of deliberately left the combat part out of the story.
well, maybe it. Maybe if the doll's gone and you say you burned the hut down as well, maybe that means at least she's at rest.
Yes,
maybe.
Quite possibly, yes. That would make sense.
And she clutches the sapphire into herself, and doesn't speak any further. Just sits there, just quietly weeping to herself by the campside.
Well, I want to make sure she's got a cloak around her and just say, "Look, we'll be just over here if you need anything at all."
She nods as you say this, Olwen. Okay. A few minutes later, after Nadya has been sat in quiet silence, she suddenly has a moment of clarity and looks up at you all. The boys. Where are the boys? They should have been back half an hour ago. Where are the boys?
Let's go find them. Maybe one of us stays here in case they come back here. But they've got Chardonnay with them.
All right. I'll stay here in case they come back. Would you mind going to look for them?
Of course.
I can't lose another child. Oh, and not after that.
No. Don't worry. They're probably just caught up having fun throwing sticks for Chardonnay, I imagine.
All right.
Yeah, Alwyn will go off and look for him.
Okay. What's everyone else been doing whilst this has been going on?
Listening.
But not obviously.
I've been avoiding eye contact.
Okay. And what are you all doing now? Obviously, Olwen is moving towards where the boys disappeared. Are the rest of you going with him?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll go along. Let us go and flush them out of that copse.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go.
So as the four of you begin moving towards this little patch of woodland, a short way away from where you've set your camp for the evening, you start moving towards it, and you get within maybe 100 feet of the trees themselves, and you all see a shape coming out of the woods, a four-legged furry shape that's rushing straight towards you. Olwen, you immediately recognise this is Chardonnay rushing towards you.
Oh, I'm going to rush up to Chardonnay.
Good boy.
Where are the boys?
Woof.
Show us.
Woof. Starts sort of tugging at your boot. Clearly trying to get you to follow it.
Oh yeah, definitely following. Yeah.
All right.
And I'm assuming Chardonnay's going back towards the woods.
Yes, he is. Chardonnay leads you all into the woods. This sort of darkened forest glade now dappled with the early lights of twilight just beginning to creep in. And after a couple of minutes of sort of darting through the woods, Chardonnay takes you. Chardonnay brings you to what appears to be a hole in the snow. You see that you sort of let's have perception checks as you get closer from everybody, please.
25.
25.
28.
20.
18.
18, okay. So all of you notice that this sort of disturbance in the snow ahead of you appears to have been a collapse of some kind. This area of the snow has dropped into what looks to be a pit, descending sort of 30 feet into the darkness below. Those of you who rolled above 20 will be able to work out that this has only recently happened. This kind of hole wasn't always there. And similarly, those of you who also rolled above 20, you can just make out at the bottom of this pit, you can see two small shapes, one of which is not moving, and the other of which is whimpering in pain. And as they hear you approach, you hear the voice of Mioli calling up to you all. Hello? Chardonnay? Anyone?
Chardonnay's here. We're here. Don't worry. I'm going to go instantly to the one that's not moving and crying out. That's Orm, I believe.
No, stop. It's unstable. It might all come down on you.
Right. We don't want that.
We don't want that.
How's your brother?
I think he's all right. He took a little nasty knock when he fell, but he's breathing.
So how far did they fall?
They look to be about 30-35 feet down to the bottom here. You imagine that they didn't fall straight down. It's likely that when whatever they found themselves in gave way beneath them, they almost slid and tumbled rather than falling straight down.
Maybe we should just
I have a rope and a grappling hook in my pack. Could we lower that down and pull them up?
Yes, I was going to say that.
That might work for Miaoli, but for Orm, Della, you're probably the lightest out of all of us.
Yeah, I could get in.
Well, it sounds like we have a plan.
Yes.
Okay, so what is it you're attempting to do, folks?
We're going to lower Della into the pit.
With Brother Amos's grappling hook and rope.
All right. What are you attaching the hook onto?
I think we'll just hold it.
Is there a tree?
Put around a tree.
But we can only attach. It would still be the full length, won't it? We ultimately we need to lower it. We need to manually.
It's 50 foot of rope, but
it's 50 foot of rope. Yes, but if we just tie it to a tree, that's 50 foot. If she falls, so we need to tie the end round Della and then lower her into the pit. The three of us.
I'm sure Della can climb down a rope, but then
I need help getting back up.
Yes, we'll haul you up, but yes, I'm sure you can climb down a rope.
Let's hope that's true.
There's only one way to find out. All right, so you're preparing this little rescue mission by using a tree to tie off your rope and grappling hook. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Brother Amos, as I get the sense that you're taking the lead on this, could I have a thievery roll, please? Let's see how well you tie it on. "24." 24. All right. You lash your rope around the tree a couple of times. This is a fairly sturdy looking tree. At one point, this might have been an oak, but the leaves themselves have sort of withered and died away. So just this kind of dead husk of a tree amidst all the pines around it. You wrap your rope firmly around it and sink your grappling hook into the ground near the roots, and you give it a little tug, and it feels very sturdy.
Della's just going to check over that just to make sure she's comfortable with it before trusting Catherine.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I'm going to roll sense motive for you. Sense motive on the rope. What's your perception bonus?
Is that just in the magnifying glass?
That's the one. 10, okay. So, Della, you look at this and it looks completely fine.
Scramble down the rope.
You scramble down the rope. Okay.
This is a brilliant plan that cannot possibly fail.
No, absolutely. When have our plans ever gone wrong? I mean, when have we ever had plans? That's the theory.
Okay. So as Della scampers down the rope, is anybody else doing anything?
Well, I think we're getting ready to haul up whatever she ties to the end of the rope. And
Yes.
little boy.
Yeah. So you're
Tie one of them.
you're just sort of bracing yourselves on the rope, ready to pull up. Okay. All right. So
And
Della.
also keeping an eye on the rope and the tree in case it's not as sturdy as we thought it was.
Yeah. No worries. Okay. All right. So Della, give me an athletics roll, please. It's not too difficult to climb down. Just don't roll a 1.
Okay, I'm going to tie the other end of the rope around my waist. But
Sure.
climb down it. And I rolled a...
Yeah, you're absolutely fine, Della. You slide down the rope, and your boots quickly find themselves onto the ground beneath you. As you land, a little bit of scree sort of kicks from under your feet and sort of tumbles a little further away. And there's as this happens, there is a very low rumble that comes from the general area around you, and then after a tense couple of seconds, the area seems to settle.
what are the names of the boys? I don't think I...
The boys are called Orm and Mioli. Della would have been introduced to them at some point whilst you've been travelling.
And Mioli's the one that's awake.
Yes, Orm is currently unconscious, but with a quick look over, you do ascertain that he is breathing.
Okay, cool. Right, so I would like to... right, Mioli, can you get yourself up the rope, or do you need help?
I can try. This is like a 4-year-old boy you're talking to, a 5-year-old boy.
Cool.
He can
no
try.
worries.
Tie him to the rope and pull him up easy enough.
I'm gonna tie the unconscious one first, because I think there's more need of medical assistance. Pull on the rope. Is it ready?
Is it a vertical drop, or is there a slight slope to it?
It looks like at one point, sort of when this first collapsed, it would have been a slope of sorts. It is almost vertical now. You're trying to pull him up.
Oh, well, that's good. That means he will be hanging free. We won't just be dragging him over gravel.
Oh.
You have to think of these things.
Yes. No, that's a good call. Watch out for overhangs. Yes. We'll start raising him up then.
You start raising him up. Okay. So Della, if I could have a thievery roll as you tie Orm onto the rope.
16.
16. Okay. And the rest of you who are now pulling him up, if I could have an athletics roll, please.
20, dirty 20 from Alwyn.
Okay.
23 from Otto.
Natural 20, 29.
Fantastic. All of you, in a few very short, swift motions, sort of start hauling Orm up, and a few seconds later, you do pull him sort of fully onto the snow near to you, and as you finish hauling him up, Della, you notice that there is another rumble in the ground, and as the ground shakes once more, the rest of you feel the snow beneath you begin to give way. Could I have a reflex saving throw, please?
Is that me as well?
No, Della, you're fine for the moment.
Another dirty 20.
16 for Otto.
22.
Okay. All of you, Olwyn and Amos, you feel the ground going beneath you, and you sort of grabbing hold of Orm, you pull yourselves back towards the sturdiness of the tree itself. Otto, you are not quick enough to get away from this, and you feel yourself start to fall. Would you like to try and grab onto anything?
Is the rope within reach?
The rope is just about within reach. So
Yes.
if you give me an acrobatics roll.
8.
You miss the rope entirely, Otto. You see it a second too late as you feel yourself tumbling down into this small pit beneath you, and sort of as the snow and the rubble settle, Della, you see Otto land face first on the ground near you. Otto, you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you land face first.
Come and join me then.
And after a second, this brief rumble that you felt, Della, subsides, and the ground seems to stabilise beneath you once more.
I am laughing on the other side of my face now.
I think we need to get out of here quickly.
I think we do.
Yeah, I'm gonna whisper shout, get the rope down.
Get the rope, yes.
Yeah, and chuck the rope back down.
Yeah, throw the rope back down. Okay. So who is going up first at this point? Are you going to try and climb it normally, or are you going to try and sort of do what you did before and haul someone up?
Shall I bring Muley up now?
I think Muley first, yes. Let's get Muley up.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I can just get him on my back and climb up myself.
He might
I think
fall
that
off,
might be
though.
quicker.
Yeah.
He might
What's
fall
your-
off.
Kids have good grip.
What's your strength score, Della?
0.
0. Okay. It's going to be tough, but you think you can probably manage it.
My strength score is, my modifier is 2. Do I need to? Maybe I could.
I mean, Della, you do sort of look over at Otto, and sort of knowing your own strength and your own. I don't want to use the word limitations, but that's where I'm going. You do sort of look at Otto, this much more thick-set dwarf, and you do think that Otto might have a better chance of putting Muley out on his back. But
No,
you're welcome to try yourself.
No, I think you can't trust a small child to hang on for that distance, and if he falls, it could be catastrophic. I think it would be they would be able to pull him up and drop the rope back down for us to climb up faster than we could climb up with him. I think the fastest thing to do is just pull him up first.
Yeah.
Let's get the rope on Muley. Muley, you're going up.
Okay. So if I could have a thievery roll from either of you or both of you to tie Muley into the rope.
11.
11. Okay. Della.
26.
Maybe you
26.
should tie the knot.
Yeah. Between the two of you, you are able to tie a decent knot around Muley, sorry, and sort of giving the signal to the rest of the team. You're ready to haul him up. Amos and Olwyn, athletics checks, please, to haul Muley out of the pit.
Okay. 18.
Okay.
12.
Okay, it's tough going. On this first haul, you get Muley about half of the way that you need to get him up. It's going to take another round of athletics checks to get him there. However, before you can get there, Della and Otto, Let's have perception rolls, please.
15.
This isn't going to be high. 14.
14, okay. Della, this is kind of just enough for you to notice. You can see that where this ground has shifted with these slight tremors that you've been experiencing, a section of the rock has collapsed away to reveal, curiously enough, not a cave, but a worked stone hallway leading deeper underground. And you swear you hear a bestial growl coming from deep within it.
Oh, that does not sound good.
That does not sound good. Yes.
Okay, speaking of hauling, let's go round to Orwin and Amos. Another round of athletics checks, please.
13.
27.
And this time, between the two of you, you are able to haul Mioli out of the pit.
Right, go, stand by your brother. Right over there, well away from the edge. That's it. Chardonnay, you look after them. Chuck the rope back down.
Yeah, you throw the rope back down.
Della, you go first. I think you're faster.
Are you sure? Alright.
Yes.
Do you
I'm
know
not
what,
gonna hang
Otto? I'm very proud of you. You've grown a lot as a character in the last time we've known each other.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm calling down into the pit.
We haven't got time for this.
No. I just wanted to recognise the growth. Yes.
I feel like I'm being patronised. What is going on?
I meant it seriously,
Yeah.
alright. Screw you then.
You are impressed by my kindness, my consideration,
Yes,
by putting someone else first.
yes.
While
Now,
Owen
quick.
and Otto have been talking, Della has hopefully scrambled up the rope at this point and doesn't need pulling up.
Sure. Let's have an athletics roll from you, Della.
19.
19 is exactly what you need to succeed to climb up the rope. Actually, no, with the rope it'll be less. So yeah, 19 is a success. So you're able to scamper. You find yourselves getting up to the top of it. Amos, you throw out a hand and you pull Della up onto the snow beside you. That leaves us with Otto down in the pit. Otto, you hear from this opened up.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say, but before Otto could go anywhere.
Yeah, you hear this growl, Otto, from deeper in the pit, and much closer this time. And with your dark vision, you see a large shape appear deeper down the tunnel. What would you like to do?
Athletics roll and climb the rope.
Climb the rope. Okay, roll athletics for me.
As Otto is climbing, Alwyn would like to start pulling the rope to get him up that
Thank
bit
you.
quicker.
Yeah, I'll join in
Yeah.
on that.
14.
14. Olwyn, what's your athletics roll?
Oh, natural 20 for 25.
Okay, so this is less Otto climbing up and more Otto as you Olwyn starts pulling the rope, perhaps just a touch too fast. So it's all you can do just to leap for the rope, wrap it around your wrist, and cling on firmly as Olwyn begins to haul you up. At this point you are about halfway out of the pit when you hear footsteps padding down the tunnel towards you, Otto. Let's have another roll, or another round of athletics checks, please.
This time 20.
20. And Olwyn?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. And the two of you managed to haul Otto up onto the top of the precipice where you're standing. You land with a thud in the snow, and then you all hear a rumble beneath you as there's a whoosh of air as a great winged creature bursts free from the pit and shoots up into the sky. And that is where we're going to end for tonight, folks.
What have we done?
Tales from the 20 Side is a Fiegel Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com. Editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.
Gosh. A great winged creature. Now, there's one thing that instantly pops into my head. It's a dragon. We'll have to find out next week.
Yeah, you will. I mean, would I throw a dragon at you? Would I be that mean?
Is that what Otto recognised coming down the tunnel?
Otto didn't get a good look at it. He just saw this dark shape moving towards him.
You threw an ice dragon at us. So
It was a statue. It was a statue. It wasn't an actual dragon.
It was dragon shaped.
Yeah.
And it was the size of a dragon, and it moved and did things to us.
Yeah.
Yes,
Did things
yes,
to us.
you would throw a
Dark.
dragon at us, is what I'm saying. You
Yes, you would throw a dragon at us.
quite literally, probably. Here's a giant throwing a dragon at you. Literally throwing a dragon at you.
Oh, that's an idea for something in future, I think. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, Darren.